Hi folks, welcome to the introduction to the cinematic template. In this template we have some really cool features, most importantly the video or the animated GIF that you can use in the home page of your website. Now I want to take you through the different options, things we've included and how to update it. But first thing I want to do is just review some of the page types that we've included or the options that we've included just to sort of clear up any confusion. When you first download your package and when you see the demo online, what you're seeing is a video loaded in from YouTube. The reason we do this as the default setting is because it's the best situation, it's the most optimal situation for your website. The reason being is loading a video in from YouTube means that you get to load it from another source other than your own server. The other source is a dedicated video streaming service, YouTube obviously, and it's fast. So you can load your page faster by loading content from two different sources at one time versus trying to load it all from your own web server. The other thing is your web server needs to be basically set up to stream video, and you can do that, and we do have a page in there or an optional page in there so you can host your own local video, but like I said, the best option is YouTube. Those other options probably a little bit more for advanced users because most people can just go to YouTube, set up an account, upload an MP4, Bob's your uncle, you're done. You just grab the video ID and update your site. So I'll just quickly review the other options, then I'll show you how to update. And in the package, I'm just going to be showing you in, I think this is Microsoft Expression Web 4. What I'm going to be showing you is not editor specific. So I'm not going to do a video for each different editor out there. I'm just going to do one general video because you can do this with TextPad, Notepad, Expression Web, Front Page, Dreamweaver, all versions. It doesn't matter. The process for updating the information is the same because you're only updating a couple of JS files or some CSS files. Okay, so what you have in your package is the index page, and that loads the YouTube video. You also have an index embedded cinemagraph. I'm just going to open that up and preview it in a browser so I can explain what this is, because it's kind of a cool option. Let me just pull it up here. There we go. This cinemagraph, this video actually loads in from a different website altogether. I'm loading this one in from a website called Flixel. So I'm just going to pull that up in a browser. Here we are at Flixel.com. Flixel is a program for Mac and iOS users for taking images or videos and sort of freezing part of it and creating a cinemagraph. Some very cool things here. You can go to the gallery and you can look for all the different things that people have done, and you may find something that works for you. For example, here's one right here. I'll just click on it. Now the cool thing about Flixel is they have the embed or the share option. So if we decide to embed, we click the button, we can select Use HD and embed code. This actually copies the code, and then we'll put that into our site, and you can use it in the site. As a matter of fact, I might as well just go through the demonstration right here. So we'll just copy this code here, and we'll just go into our page. Here's our embedded cinemagraph, and all it is, there's an iframe right here around line 124 in your page, and we're just going to, or a little bit more, but it's within the header foreground. You're looking for an iframe, and basically all we do is we just paste in the code that we copied from Flixel, and we take this iframe right here, we take this entire iframe tag, and we just move it up and out of the div container and get rid of this extra junk because we've already put some styles in the site for you. And then we just get rid of the very first line. Right, like that. And now we have, I'm going to save, and we're going to go back to our page, and we'll just refresh and see instantly that the new Flixel image cinemagraph shows up on the page. Really cool. I love Flixel. The thing is, you'll have to check with them if you are licensed or allowed to use that image, and it's going to depend on what page you use it in. If it's going to be your home page, it's going to depend on the purpose of your website, whether it's commercial, business, for an organization. There's all sorts of things. And you can also upload your own cinemagraphs to Flixel and load them in that way as well. But I just want to show you that option. I would definitely check with them on licensing before you do it, but the option is there. It's in there if you want to, especially if you want to create your own cinemagraphs. There's apps for your iOS, your iPad, or your phone, or your Mac computer that you can get to take videos, and then you can create your own really cool looking cinemagraphs like this. But I'm not going to go into details at this point of how to do that. The next option we have in here is the HTML5 video. There it is right there. I'm just going to F5 my keyboard so I can put it into a nice organized pile. And I'm just going to preview this to give you an overview of what this page is about. This HTML5 simply loads the video from your own local web server. Thing is, you need to have it in 3 different formats, and this is another reason why we don't. It's not high in my list of recommendations. However, if you're a bit more of an advanced user and you don't want to use YouTube or any other source, you can definitely load your own video. You will need to have the video in 3 different formats. MP4. I'm just going to scroll down this page here to give you an example of what we have loaded in here. You need an MP4, an OGG, and a WebM. So basically, you can take your video, your MP4 video, do a Google search on MP4 to OGG and MP4 to WebM. There's a lot of websites out there that will convert, or you can use your own software or whatever tool you use to create your MP4 video. You can also export it or save it as an OGG and a WebM. And you just simply update the path to your video right here in the page, and that's all you have to do. And we'll go on now to the first option, which is the index page, and this loads the YouTube video. And the easiest thing you can do with this is just go to YouTube. I'll pull it up in my browser, pull up a Star Trek Hilarious Bloopers video, and all we need to do with this is when you pull your video up in your YouTube page, right on the top here in the address bar, or right down here in the share link, the last few digits right here, everything after the equal sign, that is the video ID. So down here it would be youtube.be/, everything after the slash is the video ID. So just copy the video ID. You go into your site folder, JavaScript, and open up the theme init and the components.js. Scroll down for the components.js, scroll down about a third of the way, sorry. And right here around line 295, you're looking for the video ID, and that is the existing ID. In between the single quotes, you can just delete it or paste in the new stuff. Not or, but paste in the new stuff, the new ID right there. And then for the theme init, we're going to go all the way to the bottom. I'm going to hit my page down and then just scroll up a little bit to line 534 or so, and same thing. I'm just going to double click and paste in here as an example. And just file, I'm just going to save all my files like that. And then when I pull up my index page, or preview my index page now, it's going to come up and it's going to show Star Trek. There we go. And that is really all there is to it for the background video on your page. Now, what you have here, the content that goes over top, is going to be one of 2 things depending on which page. The default index page, this is going to be using the Bootstrap slider. So same thing, doesn't matter your editor, open up the library, open up the slider, the Bootstrap slider, and you'll have a Bootstrap slider page in here, and this is where you go in to change the name. You can actually do it in the design view if you're a design view, if you like that or prefer that method. It's just text on a page. Just change the text. All right, and we have some additional videos in the system for you on the Bootstrap slider, so that's just a bit of a heads up. Some of the other pages where we have, for example, the embedded cinemagraph here, that actually uses a different mechanism. We don't use the Bootstrap slider on there. We just have a single tagline, because the video is very limited. This is like an animated type GIF type thing. So we just have a big tagline over top there just to present something a little bit different. And that is something you would edit in the tagline index page right here. Just a paragraph, piece of text, change it just like you would any piece of text in a page. And that's kind of the overview of the different pages and just how to quickly update them. Now the other thing is the whole concept of the cinemagraph. You can actually use an animated GIF as well. If you have the option, really go with the MP4 version. We do include, like I said, the index GIF cinemagraph, And this one here actually loads in an animated GIF. It loads it in via style sheet. And we'll take a look in the pages folder here. And here is the index GIF cinemagraph. Open it up. A line 47, that's where the GIF is loaded in. So just change the path to your animated GIF on this line. And we scroll down, and right here on line 89. And one is for mobile and one is for desktop. So if you really wanted to have a different one for desktop, you could. That's an option. But that's where you load in. You just change the path to your cinemagraph right here in your style sheet. Now, the cinemagraph is really cool that it is available in an animated GIF format. The pros to that, you can create an animated GIF with many different tools. You can host it locally. You don't have to set up your web server. It's just a GIF file. That's the upside. The downside, there's two biggies. And that's why I'd use animated GIFs as a last resort. The two biggies are, one is GIFs are not compressible. So as far as the Google page speed goes for your website, an animated GIF is not an image that can be compressed. Therefore, it could slow down the loading of your page and also harm your actual Google page speed score. The other thing with animated GIFs are the file size. They're big. They're really big. They're 10 times the size of an MP4 video in some cases, even larger in others. I did an example or comparison, and I did a really cool animated GIF. It ended up being 150 megabytes in GIF format, and it was 6 megabytes in MP4 format. So in order to get a nice big, large animated GIF, the file size is really large and it doesn't compress, so that can really harm your Google page speed score, which is something we don't want to do when there's other options available.